Forget your automatic transmission because it's time to stick shift, shoulder button shift our way into Top Gear. Background viewing. Retrovania has an excellent review of this game. Link in the review of Top Gear. Basics. Top Gear is a behind-the-driver POV racing game for one or two players, simultaneous, using a split screen, whether you have a second human or not. Published by Kemco and developed by Gremlin Graphics, it hit the SNES in 1992 and was pretty well received by me and a few of my friends. More professional critics mostly agreed it was a pretty good game. Overview. Top Gear sort of has a Street Fighter II feel to it, traveling around the world, competing in various circuits, and advancing to the next continent. Okay, so that specific format detail reminds me of Street Fighter II. The actual gameplay, quite different. 999, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to compare and contrast a fighting game with a racing game. Mission rejected. As with most racers, your goal is to blast around the track with speed, with precision, and most importantly,
with style, Petit, with style.
The options menu is relatively robust. Not by today's standards, but it definitely outclasses some even more famous SNES racers. You can adjust the number of players. You can toggle this with the D-pad. Selecting it will allow you to enter your name and select between automatic or manual transmission. There is no reason for any respectable human being to select the former. Seriously, the gaming gods will curse you and every controller you hold for the rest of your life if you play this game with automatic transmission. The list of victims to support this anecdotal claim is numerous, although they all conveniently vanished, as all good conspiracy theories cover their tracks very well. Before the rubber meets the road, you'll choose from a few preset controller layouts and select your car. Each has its own balance of top speed, acceleration, tire grip, and fuel consumption. So once you're familiar with the game, you can pick based off of what offsets your weaknesses, or leans into them if you're feeling bold. Skill level needs no explanation for my intelligent viewer. Viewers, now. Thanks for the latest subscription. Country. Most are locked at first, but you can earn passwords, or just cheat and look them up. Speed units, miles per hour, kilometers per hour, depending on whether you prefer your numbers big or small. I mean, honestly, it's just a nice little international touch. And finally, the thrilling option, play game. Selecting this exits the menu. Shocker. My youthful experience. This was a rental. And then another rental. And another. It was good enough to rent repeatedly, but never quite good enough to fork over my precious 12-year-old dollars. I was 12-year-old, not my dollars. Is that obvious? I'm going to leave it in there. I already owned Super Mario Kart and had my eyes locked on F-Zero. Another racing game felt like a luxury purchase. Top Gear just didn't quite make the final cut. Still, it stayed in that bizarre middle ground. I liked it enough to keep coming back, but not enough to bring it home for good. In fact, as far as I can remember, it's one of only 2 games to ever hold that distinction. Look. It looks great, said Evad about every SNES game he has ever reviewed. And the trend continues. It has the style of a late 80s arcade racer, though don't ask me which ones exactly, and it just works. Landscape, cities, and terrain feel modern by 1992 standards. Maybe even a little postmodern on some tracks. It's like living in the not-so-distant future. visuals are important in behind-the-driver racing games. I mean, you're staring at the taillights the whole time after all. And Top Gear delivers. The tracks feel fresh thanks to varied settings and little touches like roadside lampposts that fly by and amplify the sense of speed. And yes, it looks great. Did I mention it looks great? Sound. It's no secret that my favorite gaming soundtracks come from the SNES. Yeah, at least when it comes to cartridge-based music. In this game, no exception. Turns out many of these bangers are remixes of tracks from the Lotus games on the Amiga. News to me, since the Amiga was a giant blind spot in my gaming knowledge for years. Regardless, the music here is fantastic. Sound effects are solid too. Revving engines, satisfying crashes, and a lot of squelching tires. Maybe too much tire noise if you're really paying attention. But you won't be. You'll be too busy jamming to the tunes. Gameplay. As with any game, especially a racing one, there is an acclimation period. But most of the controls are quite straightforward, especially if you just glance at the screen when you select your control type. It's fair enough in maneuverability and does a great job of making the controls feel intuitive. CPU racers can get aggressive, and learning the maps, like with all racing games, is something that'll take a little time. Fuel management is critical. Some races are short and it won't matter, but many races are longer, and you'll need to hit the pit stops. It can be tough to find them if it's your first time on the track. The game does notify you when you're low on fuel, which side the pits will appear on as you approach them. But familiarity with the track makes this transition much more seamless. As you progress, it will become increasingly more important to have the guile to know just how long to spend in the pits. Remember the recharge sections in F-Zero? It's a lot like that, only much more strategy. Much more strategy is involved in your refueling here. You do not want to run out of fuel. You just idle like a bonehead while everybody else laps you. But you also don't want to spend so long in the pits that you can't finish at least top 5. 6th or worse, you cannot progress. And I guess I'm okay with that feature. Pretty common for the era. Heck, F-Zero had a lap-by-lap requirement, and Super Mario Kart required a top 4 finish. And those are two of my favorite racing games of all time. Although both of those allowed you, if you had enough lives, to retry that specific race. But in and of itself, the ranking requirement is not intrinsically bad. But it can become a struggle to familiarize yourself with the later tracks in a circuit if you have to beat the first few tracks again just to give it a second shot. But my biggest criticism is the hills. It gets better, again, if you know what lies ahead. But the first few times racing on a track with lots of hills, you find your limited visibility in these sections is a frustrating disadvantage. If we go all the way back to my F-Zero review from Season 1, I question whether all the flat tracks was a good feature or not. Well, Top Gear tried it, and while it does look and feel cool, it creates a layer of difficulty not common or even necessary in racing games. They do provide a unique touch, though, and would not be the same without them. The box art is incredible. Like Kit from Knight Rider got a Batmobile makeover and just finished drag racing in Tron. It screams speed, style, and the kind of high-octane cool that gets turned into a lunchbox. Or an airbrushed mural. And then you boot up the game and pick from 4 cars that look fine. Serviceable. Like they were designed by someone who once saw a Ferrari in a magazine, had to draw it from memory, using only a ruler. It's like being promised a sleek, classy Matchbox car and getting Hot Wheels instead. And not even the cool kind with a skull grill or a giant spoiler. Just the one shaped like a microwave for some reason. At least the interface isn't out to ruin your day. The menus are straightforward. The font doesn't look like a ransom note. And best of all, the password system uses real words. It's not a randomized jumble like Z7PLQK, but actual readable, pronounceable terms. It's like the game trusted kids to be human beings instead of CAPTCHA decoders. Imagine that. No confusing messes of 8s and Bs, Zs and 7s that make you question your handwriting and your will to continue. It's a small thing. But in the 90s, a miracle. The one-player experience. Top Gear holds up great in solo play. It's definitely better with a second player, but even with the constant split screen, yes, even in one-player mode, it's easy to get used to because the gameplay is just that good. Who would like this? Me? I mean, I love good racing games, and this is a good racing game. If you're in the same boat, I don't see any reason why you won't like it too. If you don't like racers or behind the driver perspective, you probably already know you won't give it a shot. For those in the middle, those who are okay with racing games, it's a tough call. You'll probably prefer Super Mario Kart or F-Zero. No shame, I do too. But Top Gear still deserves a spin. So for the casual racing fan, I think that can only be determined on an individual basis. Legacy. Outside of South America, Top Gear's legacy is kind of limited. But in Brazil, borders on legendary. The passion for this game there is unreal. If you ever stumble into a South American streamer playing Top Gear on Twitch, buckle up. Even if you're like me and foreign languages are exotic and impossible, enthusiasm speaks every language. Overall, Top Gear is great. Its biggest flaw is simply being stuck in the shadows of titans like F-Zero and Super Mario Kart. On the same console, no less. I don't rank games in these reviews, reasons I may explain in the future. But let's just say, it may not be gold or silver, but a bronze medal in this lineup is nothing to be ashamed of. And even being in the conversation is a testament to how much fun it is. Next. The fiery debate in the comments about Matchbox versus Hot Wheels is good. But next episode, things get competitive and blocky and probably a little awkward. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next mission.